approximately 1 in 5 adults in the U.S. experiences mental illness in a given year. And as we continue to bring awareness to mental health, licensed clinical social worker Sharon J. Lawrence is here to share the importance of seeking therapy and offer advice on how to find the right person for you. So welcome to Good Morning Washington.
Thank you so much for having me.
You know, therapy, it's not a dirty word. Like,
Nope.
I feel like there's a stigma around it. You know, we've been talking about this story this morning, how burnout is now a diagnosable disease. In your profession, do you see a lot of people coming in with burnout?
Absolutely. I mean, people are working harder, longer hours, the amount of things that are coming their way, especially for therapists. We're seeing a lot of extensive trauma in people, and so they are really impacted. And so we're not exempt from all the stuff that comes our way, and we're not equipped to take on everything at one time. So you have to be careful how you're actually managing all of that, but it's coming more and more.
All right. Well, and one of the first steps sometimes is just reaching out for help, and that can be
Absolutely.
sometimes a little bit scary. For someone who has never been to therapy, I have been, I love it, I highly recommend it. What advice would you give to someone that's looking to seek out therapy?
Do the research. Actually go online and research a clinician, whether in your healthcare network or through Psychology Today or Therapy for Black Girls. There's so many different directories available that will allow you to actually look for their bios, if they take your insurance, if they have availability based on your work schedules, and just to make sure that they specialize in what it is you're actually looking for. Because you have people that will say, they may specialize in substance abuse. That may not be your area. It may be depression or anxiety. You want someone who has a specialty in your area where you feel like you're going to get what you need actually.
Okay. Are there any kind of red flags, anything that we should be looking out for when we're going on these sites? Because sometimes, I mean, even in my personal experience of looking for therapists, sometimes it's kind of hard to find, you know, reviews from people. What would you say about that?
I like reviews only if you really want to find out like what they specialize in and if they've been effective at their work. But we all know that everyone's situation is different. And so what may work for one person may not work for you. So you got to go into it with a clear mind and being open to understand that it's going to be really about the work that you do for yourself, that it's not going to be all on that clinician. You really have to be ready to do your own work.
And there really is, you know, work that's involved. Walk us through that process of, okay, you know, you call, you find the therapist that's going to work for, that you think is, you know, maybe going to work for you. Talk us through that kind of first appointment.
Well, let's go back to the phone call, like you said, because for me, I tell people the therapeutic relationship actually begins at that first phone call. It's not when you walk in the door. It's at the first phone call. That's your opportunity to ask as many questions as you need to make sure it's a good fit. You want to feel comfortable with that individual. You want to find out their history, how long they've been in practice, how long they've been working with people with your particular diagnosis, and to find out if they can work with your schedule. I have so many people that have come through my doors that say they felt so good on the first phone call that solidified it for them walking into the first appointment.
Interesting. And having that connection with your therapist is so important.
It's very important.
Because,
very important.
You know, where it's just, you know, like any type of a relationship, you know, you want to feel like you can talk about anything. So for people that want to maybe reach out to you, have more specific questions, how do they go about doing that?
I am on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at MySelah Wellness, MYSELAH Wellness, and my website is also www.myselahwellness.com.
Fantastic. And I always find it interesting that therapists also see therapists. So some really great information. Thank you so very much for coming in and talking about this topic that I think hopefully we continue to talk more and more about.
Absolutely.